Okay, so let's dive in. Imagine this. You just stepped off the plane, right? Into that amazing Merida warmth. Everything feels different. The air, the colors, maybe even, the smells from all the amazing food cooking. And you're excited, totally ready to connect. But then maybe try ordering something delicious like coquinita papel. You've practiced saying por favor, but well, comes out a bit awkward, or maybe not how you intended. Or ha, you try to wave someone down like a local for directions, and you do that big friendly wave we use back home, and you just get this look like total confusion, maybe even a little alarm. We've all been there, haven't we? Those little moments. Funny later, but yeah, in the moment, you just want to connect properly. So today, we're really going to cut through all that noise. We want to give you the ultimate cheat sheet, sort of for truly connecting here in this incredible city. This deep dive is all about unlocking those secrets to authentic local interaction. The unspoken rhythms, the gestures, those essential phrases that really make all the difference. It's about shifting you from just being an observer to really being a participant. And our mission here on the deep dive is simple. It's to give you a shortcut, a way to become genuinely well-informed about daily life, about communication right here in Merida. It's not just about learning Spanish words. It's really about gaining cultural fluency. And honestly, this is exactly the kind of invaluable, practical insight you can expect from Merida Expats 411. It puts us well in a league of our own when it comes to guiding you through this amazing experience. We're really here to help you not just, visit Merida, but to truly thrive here, to become part of this vibrant tapestry.
That's so true. It's actually fascinating how quickly even a little bit of cultural and linguistic understanding can just profoundly transform your entire experience here. It really does move beyond merely getting by. It moves you towards a place of genuine belonging. And this deep dive into Merida's unique communication style, it's meticulously designed. We want to arm you with insights that go way beyond any standard phrase book. We'll help you understand not just what to say. That's the easy part sometimes.
Right.
But more importantly, how to say it and what it truly means within the local context. It's really about unlocking doors to richer relationships, deeper experiences, and a much more profound appreciation of the culture you're immersing yourself in. Doesn't matter if you're here for a short visit or, planning a long-term stay. This stuff is key.
Okay, so let's talk about that pulse, the heartbeat of Merida. Because if you're like many of us, right, coming from maybe a big city, a place that's always go, 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 hyper efficiency, speed, tight schedules. This first point, honestly, it's your golden ticket to sanity here. You absolutely need to get this. Merida moves slower, period. It's not like a suggestion. It's a fundamental aspect of daily life. It's almost like the city has its own, chilled out playlist, a rhythm set to a much gentler beat. You'll see it everywhere. The way people walk, how things happen in shops, even navigating government offices. So why is patience so incredibly vital here? And maybe more importantly, how does embracing this rhythm actually enhance your experience?
This point is just so crucial. It really highlights a fundamental cultural difference in how time itself is perceived. If you look at the bigger picture, this slower pace often stems from a culture that's more community-centric, more relationship-driven. Yeah. That's quite different from, say, many Western societies, which tend to be more individualistic, more task-oriented. In those places, time is often seen as a commodity, right? Something finite, something to be optimized, saved, managed efficiently.
Yeah, time is money.
Exactly. But here in Merida, time feels less about the clock and much more about the connection. It's almost like a medium for interaction, for conversation, for just being present in the moment. Think about the scenario. It's pretty common. You're at a local restaurant, maybe having a nice, long, leisurely lunch, and you're ready for the check.
Okay.
In a fast-paced city back home, you might be glancing at your watch, maybe tapping your foot, feeling that impatience rise if it doesn't come instantly.
Oh, yeah. Definitely felt that.
Right. But here, that same moment, that pause, it might be an unhurried opportunity for your server to quickly ask about your day. Or it's a chance for you to just watch the vibrant street life unfolding outside, or simply enjoy a quiet moment sipping your agua fresca. The real aha moment for a lot of newcomers is realizing this isn't inefficiency. It's not a lack of urgency.
It's a different value system.
Precisely. It's a deliberate and I'd argue often more human-centered approach to life. It's sort of redefining what getting things done actually means, like maybe getting a permit or arranging a repair. It might operate on a different timeline. And sometimes building that trust and rapport with the person handling your request, that can actually be more efficient in the long run than trying to rush them.
That makes sense.
So embracing this rhythm, it helps you reset your own internal clock, allows you to really absorb the local environment, movement instead of fighting against its natural flow. And for you, this shift, it can genuinely reduce stress. It can enhance your overall well-being and lead to much richer, more relaxed interactions. It's really about adapting to the flow, not trying to force the pace.
That is such a profound shift in mindset, isn't it?
Hmm.
Moving from time is money to time is connection.
Wow. So, okay, how does this slower, more patient rhythm translate into like daily conversations, your interactions? Merida locals are almost universally described as incredibly warm, genuinely friendly, unfailingly polite. You hear that all the time. But there's this fascinating twist, one that often catches newcomers off guard. They're typically quite indirect in their communication. Can you maybe unpack why that might be a little tricky for some of us, especially, if you're raised in a culture where you're taught to be direct, say exactly what you mean, no beating around the bush, get to the point quickly. Because that direct approach, even if it's well-intentioned, it might actually backfire here, right?
Absolutely. What's truly fascinating here is thinking about indirectness not as like vagueness or lack of clarity.
But as a deeply ingrained form of respect and actually a powerful mechanism to preserve social harmony. In many cultures, certainly in Mexican culture, avoiding direct confrontation is really important, or causing potential discomfort or loss of face for either person involved, that's paramount.
Okay, saving face, I've heard that.
Exactly. So a direct no to a request, for instance, it might feel abrupt, maybe rude, even a bit aggressive in this context. So instead of that blunt refusal, you might hear phrases like, déjame ver qué puedo hacer, let me see what I can do, or maybe puede ser un poco difícil, it might be a little difficult, or even just quizás en otra ocasión, maybe another time. These aren't really evasions. They're subtly conveying it's unlikely or no, but without causing awkwardness.
Gotcha. It's cushioning the blow.
Precisely. It's about cushioning the refusal, leaving room for a graceful exit for everyone involved. So the ability to read between those lines, to pick up on these subtle linguistic cues, the nonverbal signals too, that's an invaluable skill.
Yeah.
It will profoundly deepen your relationships here and prevent misunderstandings. Misunderstandings that could easily arise if you're just taking words at their absolute literal value.
Makes sense.
And for you, practicing a bit more indirect communication yourself, especially when you're making requests or maybe declining offers, that will foster much more positive and smoother interactions. Like instead of saying, I want 2 tacos, which sounds a bit demanding, you might say, ¿Me puede dar 2 tacos? Could you give me 2 tacos? Or quisiera 2 tacos, por favor, I would like 2 tacos, please. Eat. That small shift, it shows respect for the vendor's role, their autonomy. It allows for a gentler, more polite interaction that really aligns with local sensibilities. And that makes you feel more integrated, makes your interactions just generally more pleasant.
It really is like learning a new language,
Yeah.
but for social dynamics.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Okay, speaking of foundations, these aren't just abstract buzzwords we're throwing around. They are the absolute bedrock of Merida life. Family, tradition, religion, and local pride. It's almost like a hidden curriculum, woven into the fabric of everything around you. From how neighborhoods are structured, community life, even the timing of events and daily routines. How do these big ideas actually play out day to day? How do they shape the conversations you'll have, the celebrations you might see, and just the general rhythm of life here in the Yucatan?
Well, connecting this to the bigger picture, these cultural pillars provide this deep, unwavering sense of community and identity. And that is absolutely central to the Yucatecan way of life. Unlike maybe more individualistic societies, where personal decisions are often made more in isolation. Here, personal choices, daily rhythms, even major life events are frequently shaped by collective values, by ancestral practices. Take family, for example. The concept of familia here extends way beyond the nuclear unit.
Right, not just mom, dad, kids.
Exactly. It includes extended relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, but also close friends who become like family, and even godparents, padrinos and madrinas, who play a really significant role. It forms this incredibly robust support network. So a simple conversation about your family will likely spark genuine interest and open up paths for deeper connection. And tradition, too, it isn't just something historical you read about. It's a living, breathing part of daily existence. You see it in the food, obviously, the amazing cuisine, but also in clothing, like the beautiful huipiles women wear, the music, music, and just the adherence to centuries-old customs.
Okay.
Religious observance, which is predominantly Catholic here, often underpins many social events and celebrations. It provides a kind of moral and communal framework. The importance of fiestas, local celebrations tied to patron saints or religious holidays. It isn't just about having fun, though they are fun.
Right.
They are deeply significant anchors for community life, for cultural preservation, and for connecting generations. And finally, that local pride. Pride in being Yucatecan, which is a unique identity, distinct from other parts of Mexico, it's palpable. You feel it in their love for their land, their history, their unique culture, the Mayan heritage. So even simple interactions can carry the weight of these traditions. And that's why showing genuine respect, showing curiosity about them is so vital for building trust and rapport. Your appreciation for these values, it will be felt and it will be reciprocated. And that creates much more meaningful connections, Fernando, as you integrate into this wonderful community.
Okay, let's talk hands. Nonverbal communication, those silent signals. They're such a massive part of truly connecting in Merida. Sometimes, honestly, they speak louder than words, or at least they prevent some really awkward misunderstandings. Like, for instance, the way many of us beckon someone in the U.S. or maybe Canada, palm up, fingers wiggling towards us.
The come here motion.
Exactly. Well, that's actually completely different here. In Merida, and really much of Mexico, it's palm down, with your fingers flapping inward, almost like you're gently patting the air downwards towards yourself. I distinctly remember the very first time I tried to call a server over at a cafe using the American wave, and I just got the most delightfully confused look.
Hey, I can picture it.
It was a good laugh eventually. But in that moment, it was crystal clear my message was not getting across. So why is this seemingly small detail so crucial for clear communication?
Yeah. That's a great example, actually, because it highlights how deeply ingrained these nonverbal cues are. This difference in the beckoning gesture, it isn't just random. Often these movements have deep cultural roots. And while it seems minor, using the correct gesture immediately signals something important. It signals that you've put in the effort to understand local customs.
Oh, okay. It shows you care.
Precisely. It's a subtle but really powerful way to show respect, which, as we've discussed, is paramount here in Merida. And beyond just showing respect, using the correct gesture fosters a smoother interaction because you're essentially speaking their nonverbal language.
It's like you've got the secret code.
Kind of. It reduces potential confusion, it prevents awkwardness, and it builds immediate rapport. It just makes your daily interactions much more fluid and pleasant for everyone involved. It's a small detail, sure, but it can make a really big difference in how effectively you communicate what you need or want.
Well, here's some good news on the gesture front, the classic thumbs up. Universally understood here. That's one less thing to worry about. It means all good. Okay, great. Phew. It's interesting, isn't it, how some gestures truly do transcend borders, offers a nice little moment of universally understood communication.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the universality of certain expressions, especially positivity. And while we're on the topic of gestures, it's always fascinating to note how some are globally recognized, like the thumbs up, but others are incredibly specific to a culture or even a region, like some we're about to discuss. Understanding this mix, knowing which is really key. The thumbs up is pretty consistent, but some others are unique to this area, making understanding them even more vital for seamless communication.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and incredibly practical for your daily life. Picture this. Holding your palm up with all your fingers held together, almost like you're holding a tiny invisible ball, right? And then shaking your hand slightly, almost in a gentle questioning motion.
I know the one.
If you see this gesture, or if you want to ask a quick nonverbal question yourself, this is your go-to. It's not some secret handshake. It simply means, what do you want? Or what's this? Or what's up with that?
Oh, can you see how incredibly handy this would be? Say at a bustling, noisy market, lots of chatter, you're trying to ask a vendor about a specific fruit.
Or they're asking you about something.
Exactly. Or maybe they're asking about something you're holding in your hand. It's a wonderfully efficient and clear way to communicate without needing to shout or struggle for the right words. You might even use it yourself if someone presents you with something and you're unsure what it is or what they expect from you. It's truly fascinating how much information can be conveyed non-verbally, isn't it? And this particular gesture is a prime example. It's such a compact way to ask for clarification without needing words. Especially useful, as you said, in a dynamic or a loud environment like a market or maybe a street food stall. It acts as a sort of universal non-verbal question mark, immediately signaling your inquiry. learning to recognize it, and maybe even using this gesture yourself sometimes. It allows you to participate more fully in these everyday exchanges. It demonstrates your awareness of local communication styles, shows you're picking up on the local nuances. It's a really pragmatic tool. It just streamlines daily interactions.
Okay, this next one is, well, it's a little bit spicy, maybe. Quite visual, definitely one to know if you see it, but perhaps hold off on using it yourself until you're really familiar with the cultural context and, have a good feel for the local humor.
Okay, intrigue building.
Imagine someone touching their own elbow with the fingers of their other hand, or maybe even just pointing to their elbow. What does that mean? Well, it's a subtle and sometimes maybe not so subtle way to suggest someone is, well, cheap or stingy. Codo is the word in Spanish, which means elbow, but also cheap.
Ah, the Kodo gesture. Yes.
Quite the visual, right? You might observe someone do it playfully among close friends, maybe hinting that one of them is being a bit frugal, or perhaps more subtly if they're commenting on someone else's perceived lack of generosity.
Right.
It's rarely used with real malice, I think, more often as a humorous, sometimes wry observation.
Yeah, and connecting that to the broader cultural context, generosity and hospitality are just incredibly highly valued in Mexican culture. It's a cornerstone. So this gesture, while often employed humorously in certain social settings, it subtly underscores that cultural norm, where being overtly cheap or lacking generosity might be seen negatively, or at least noted. It reflects a cultural expectation of sharing, of abundance, maybe even a bit of flair sometimes. Understanding this gesture, even if you choose never to use it yourself, provides really insightful context into local social judgments and values. It allows you to better interpret the nuances of conversations happening around you, maybe grasp some subtle social commentary being made. It's like a little window into a bigger cultural value.
Okay, this next one is an absolute gem for polite refusal.
Oh.
And it's wonderfully graceful, I think. It's an open palm, held outward near your chest, maybe moving slightly from side to side, or in a very soft, gentle pushing motion away from you. It's your nonverbal no thank you. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's so much more graceful and less abrupt than a sharp headshake or just a blunt, verbal, no, don't you agree?
Definitely softer.
Yeah. It conveys this gentle, respectful decline, which aligns perfectly with that indirect communication style we talked about earlier. You can use this when someone offers you something you don't want. Maybe a vendor is trying to sell you something you're not interested in. Or even when you're being offered, say, another serving of food that you've already politely declined verbally. You just accompany it with a kind smile, right? It ensures you refuse without shutting down the interaction or causing any discomfort. Helps maintain that harmony.
Yep.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks now. The absolutely essential Spanish phrases. We're talking politeness 101, sure, the foundational courtesies, but in Merida, these are so much more than just pleasantries. They are your VIP pass, truly, to positive interactions. Things like, buenos dias, good morning, buenas tardes, good afternoon, buenas noches, good evening, night. And of course, por favor, please, and gracias, thank you, or muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Like basic etiquette maybe you learned as a kid. You might think, oh, I can just get by with English. But trust me, these basic courtesies, they open so many more doors. They really differentiate your interactions. Why are these seemingly simple phrases just so incredibly powerful and foundational here?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is that these aren't just linguistic formalities. They're not optional pleasantries. They are deeply ingrained cultural expectations. I'd even say an absolute necessity for respectful engagement.
Okay, a necessity.
Yes. Greeting someone with a warm buenos dias or buenas tardes, buenas noches, depending on the time before you ask a question, before you even enter a small shop. It isn't optional. It's the very foundation of how you acknowledge another person's presence. It signals your humility, your awareness.
Right.
It shows you value the person you're speaking with before you even make a request or ask for information. It instantly sets you apart. It indicates your respect for local customs and distinguishes you from maybe someone who might inadvertently appear entitled by just launching straight into English or a direct request without that preamble.
That makes a lot of sense.
And similarly, disculpe, which means excuse me, used to get someone's attention or apologize lightly, or perdón, which is more like pardon me if you bump into someone. And con permiso, meaning excuse me, or with your permission, used when you need to pass through a crowd or squeeze by someone. These are also essential components of just polite navigation in daily life. Mastering these basics is honestly the quickest way to demonstrate cultural awareness and ensure your interactions start off smoothly and positively.
Okay, it's about showing you're aware of their space and their culture. Got it. Now let's get really practical. How do you actually navigate everyday life? How do you order a meal, find the restroom always important, or pay for that amazing souvenir you just found at the market? We've got you covered with phrases that are like your daily mission controllers. For sure, shopping, especially in local markets where prices might not always be clearly marked cuánto cuesta, how much does it cost, absolutely essential. And a universal need, often a lifesaver. ¿Dónde está el baño? Where's the bathroom? You got to know that one. If you're going out to eat, una mesa para dos, por favor. A table for two, please. We'll get you seated smoothly. Obviously, adjust the number as needed. In our increasingly cashless world, you'll definitely need to know, ¿puedo pagar con tarjeta? Can I pay with card?
Very important these days.
And also, tiene cambio. Do you have change? Which is incredibly important, particularly when you're dealing with cash for smaller purchases, like at a market stall or for street food. You need to ensure the vendor can actually break a larger bill. These phrases are your toolkit. They equip you to navigate these common scenarios, shopping, dining, transactions effortlessly and with confidence. Navigating a new city, it can feel a bit like being in a maze sometimes, right? Especially when it comes to getting around. But knowing how to express your destination or ask for directions will make you feel much more like a local, much faster. For instance, voy, followed by your destination, like voy a Super Aquí, I'm going to Super Aquí supermarket, or voy al centro, I'm going downtown, or maybe voy a Progreso, I'm going to Progreso, the nearby beach town. That's vital for taxi drivers or rideshare drivers, or even just when asking someone for general directions.
Clarity is key.
And with ride-sharing apps being so popular here, knowing ¿dónde puedo tomar un Uber? Or un Didi. Where can I catch an Uber? Or where can I catch a Didi? Is incredibly useful. Of course, clear directions are essential if you're walking or getting directions. Derecho means straight ahead. A la izquierda is to the left. And a la derecha means to the right. Plus, my personal favorite for taxis or ride shares, it saves so much awkward fumbling for words at the end of the ride. Aquí está bien, here's fine, or stop here is good. It ensures you get dropped off exactly where you want, smoothly.
Such a useful one.
These phrases truly empower you to explore Merida confidently. They allow you to venture beyond maybe the main tourist zones and discover the city's many hidden gems and local haunts. Okay, now let's sprinkle in some local flavor, some fantastic slang and common expressions. This is where you really start to sound like you've been here a while, like you're genuinely connecting. First up, the absolute classic, ahorita.
Ahorita.
Ahorita. Exactly. It literally translates to right now, like a diminutive of ahora now. But oh boy, it's a chameleon, isn't it? Depending entirely on the context, the speaker's tone, maybe even the phase of the moon. It can mean right this second, soon, in a little while, later today, maybe tomorrow, or even sometimes not now, possibly never, but I don't want to say no directly.
Yes, it covers a lot of ground.
It's fantastic and can be a little bit comical sometimes. It often leads to humorous misunderstandings if you take its literal translation too strictly. It truly reflects that flexible sense of time we were talking about.
Okay, then you have ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué onda? It's a super friendly, really informal greeting. Kind of like, what's up, or how's it going? You'll hear it everywhere among friends, even with casual acquaintances. Very common. ¿Qué padre? ¿Qué padre? This means something like, how cool, or that's awesome, or how great. It's a wonderful, enthusiastic expression. You can use it for anything from a delicious meal to a beautiful sunset to a fun plan.
Very versatile, Padre.
Then, no hey bronca, no ay bronca. This is your casual no worries or no problem. A very laid-back way to dismiss a minor issue or reassure someone, like, don't sweat it. And finally, maybe a bit more youthful, but still common, está bien chido. Está bien chido means it's awesome or it's really cool. Similar to que padre, but maybe a bit more slangy, perfectly acceptable in many casual settings.
That's an excellent point you made about ahorita and its incredible fluidity. It really does highlight that relaxed approach to scheduling, that different perception of time we discussed earlier. It allows for flexibility, doesn't it? It avoids a direct, immediate commitment, which, yeah, while sometimes may be frustrating for those of us accustomed to precise timing, hey, it's perfectly normal within this cultural context. It's an expression of that slower, more adaptable rhythm of life here. And mastering these nuances, like understanding the subtle shifts in meaning for ahorte, or feeling comfortable using que onda, or throwing out an enthusiastic que padre, it really allows you to move beyond just basic communication. You start connecting on a more personal, more friendly level. Using a bit of local slang, when appropriate, shows you're not just a tourist passing through. It shows you're making a genuine effort to truly engage with the culture and its unique expressions. And that effort is deeply appreciated by locals. It's about blending in, even just a little, and really enriching your interactions.
Okay, now for something truly unique, really fascinating about communication right here in Merida in the Yucatan, Yucatecan Spanish, the way people speak here, it has its own special flavors, its own unique linguistic spices, if you will. And that's largely thanks to the beautiful, deep, and enduring influence of the Mayan language.
It's very distinct.
It's not just a linguistic curiosity you read about in a book. It's a living testament to this region's incredibly rich history and its unique cultural blend. This is where you really start to feel Merida's unique heart, I think. Understand its profound heritage. It's a constant reminder of the layers of history that make this place just so special.
That's a really important point. This blend of Spanish and Mayan, it isn't merely some accident of history. It is a direct reflection of Merida's profound historical roots and its distinct identity within Mexico. The ongoing presence and influence of the Mayan language, which obviously predates Spanish colonization by centuries, it showcases the incredible resilience and the vitality of Mayan culture right up to the present day.
Absolutely.
These specific phrases, these linguistic quirks we're about to mention, they're cultural touchstones. They connect the present day to a deep and vibrant past. It's really a beautiful example of linguistic evolution and cultural fusion. It demonstrates how language is this living, breathing testament to a region's unique narrative. Understanding that background just helps you appreciate the richness of the local dialect even more.
So let's get into some of these fantastic, unique Yucatecan phrases. You might hear them around if someone says, "Ta bueno." Not a B-W-E-H, no, to you. They're not asking about a bull, despite toro meaning bull.
No.
No. They're actually saying that's fine, or sounds good, or okay. It's a really common, super versatile, and useful phrase you'll likely hear daily. It's sort of a local version of está bueno. And then there's the exciting exclamation, bomba, B-O-H-M-A-ba. If you hear this shouted, get ready for a laugh, maybe some lively fun, because that's not a warning.
Not an actual bomb.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
It's a traditional, often funny, rhyming verse or a kind of poetic toast. It's frequently shouted out during parties, fiestas, or other events, especially during traditional folk dances like the jarana. Someone yells bomba, the music might pause, and they recite a short, witty verse, often a bit cheeky or romantic. It's a moment of playful interruption, usually met with cheers and applause. Really fun. Then there's one you might see written or hear, Xmas. It looks like Christmas, but it's pronounced roughly Shmas, with a soft she sound at the beginning. This is actually Mayan. It means something like, what's up? Or it's used as a very casual greeting among friends. It's a true local gem that will instantly make you sound like you're in the know if you recognize it or use it appropriately. And finally, yeah. Yeah. It's a simple yet impactful word also for Mayan. It's used like, that's enough, or stop, or no more. You might hear it used maybe to halt a playful action, or to signal that a task is complete, or simply to say no more when being served food or drink.
Very direct, that one.
Yes. How much fun is that? Learning these little things, recognizing and maybe even trying out these phrases or just understanding them when you hear them. It offers you a much deeper insight into the local culture, its unique humor, and its rich linguistic tapestry. Makes you feel much more connected to the everyday life of Yucatecans.
Absolutely. And building on that point, phrases like bomba, for instance, they're far more than just words. They really speak to a strong tradition of verbal wit, of improvisation, and community celebration that's just deeply embedded in Yucatecan culture. It's a moment of collective joy, playful interaction.
Yeah, you can feel that energy.
Yeah, exactly. And similarly, using something like Xmas correctly, or understanding when someone says yeah, it demonstrates a genuine effort to engage with the local linguistic identity. It fosters a deeper sense of connection and appreciation for the unique heritage of the region. It's really about acknowledging that language here is this living, vibrant echo of its history and its people. And it kind of invites you to be a part of that ongoing story, doesn't it?
Okay, let's put all this fantastic knowledge into action now. Let's run through some real-world scenarios. Imagine yourself immersed in the vibrant chaos of a bustling Merida market, like Mercado Lucas de Galvez or Santiago Market. You're surrounded by explosions of color from produce, unique artisanal crafts, the sounds, the smells, the lively chatter of vendors and shoppers, before you even think about asking, how much, cuánto cuesta? What should you absolutely do first?
Greet them.
Exactly. Remember our earlier point? Smile warmly and say, buenos dias or buenas tardes, depending on the time. It's your secret handshake to a good interaction. Shows respect right from the very start. Then, when you're ready to actually request something, instead of a direct give me, which can sound a bit abrupt, use me puede dar, literally, can you give me, to ask for something respectfully. It's much softer. And remember, in a busy market environment, pointing is totally acceptable, often incredibly helpful. It allows you to clearly indicate exactly what you're interested in without maybe struggling for the specific word in Spanish. So how can you approach these market interactions confidently and respectfully? It makes it a much more enjoyable and authentic experience for everyone involved, right?
It does, and it's important to recognize that the market, it isn't just a place of transaction. It's really a vibrant microcosm of Merida's whole communication style. It's about the human connection, the social interaction that precedes and accompanies any exchange.
Right, it's not just about the money changing hands.
No. Starting with that respectful greeting, even if you end up pointing to an item, it builds that foundation of goodwill. And that can lead to a much more pleasant experience. Maybe some friendly banter, maybe even a slightly better price, who knows? But more importantly, it demonstrates your engagement with the local customs. It shows you're valuing the personal interaction just as much as the purchase itself. And that approach transforms a simple shopping trip into a really delightful cultural exchange.
Okay, now, for something that can feel a bit more serious, naturally, but is still perfectly manageable with just a little preparation, navigating health situations. Stepping into a pharmacy, pharmacia, or a doctor's office, consultorio, or clinica in a new country where a different language is spoken, yeah, it can feel intimidating, no doubt.
Understandably so.
But a little bit of linguistic groundwork goes an incredibly long way here. It alleviates stress for both you and the healthcare provider. Knowing key words like dolor, pain, fever, gripe, cold or flu, tos, pastilla, pill, and inyección, shot or injection, can make all the difference when you're describing your symptoms or trying to understand instructions. And here's a really clever strategy, something I highly recommend. If you're unsure or if it's complex, write down your symptoms or key phrases in both English and Spanish beforehand.
Great tip.
Or use translation apps right there to communicate clearly. Think of it as preparing your little medical cheat sheet. How can you ensure clear communication in what could potentially be a critical situation? Making sure you get the care you need with confidence and clarity is paramount. All right, another common scenario for expats. For those of you who might choose to have household help, whether it's a cleaner, persona de limpieza, a gardener, jardinero, maybe a cook, cocinero, or other assistants. Respectful and clear communication is absolutely paramount here. This isn't just about getting the job done efficiently. It's really about fostering a positive and lasting working relationship, one built on mutual understanding and respect.
Which is crucial everywhere, but especially here.
Exactly. Knowing basic instruction words like limpiar, clean, lavar, wash like clothes or dishes, planchar, iron. And being able to specify frequency clearly with cada semana weekly or cada quincena biweekly, literally each fortnight, or una vez al mes, once a month. This will save so much potential confusion and sets crystal clear expectations from the start. It minimizes misunderstandings, ensures everyone is on the same page, and always, always, always end your interactions, especially when paying them with a sincere muchas gracias por su trabajo. Thank you very much for your work. It shows genuine appreciation for their efforts and the vital role they play in your daily life. It's a small phrase, but its impact is huge.
Yes, and if we connect this back to the bigger picture, these interactions with household staff, they are far more than just transactional employment. They are relationships. Relationships built on trust, on mutual respect, and on clear communication. In a culture that deeply values personal connections, as we've said, and recognizes the dignity of all types of labor, having a strong, positive working relationship with household staff is highly regarded. It truly contributes to the harmony of your home.
That's a great way to put it.
Clear communication of expectations, combined with genuine gratitude, fair treatment, paying on time, it creates a positive and lasting bond. And this reflects the value placed on human connections in this culture. It makes the daily functioning of your home much smoother, much more pleasant for everyone involved. It's really about building a team, not just hiring a service. #tag mastering cultural nuances for respectful interactions.
Okay, let's just underscore this point one more time because it's so fundamental to integrating successfully and happily here. A simple greeting. When you enter any room where there are other people, or any shop, even a tiny one, even just a quiet nod and a quick buenas, it is truly non-negotiable.
It really is.
It's like that social handshake we mentioned, isn't it? It acknowledges the presence of others, signals your respect for the space you're entering, and recognizes the people already in it.
It's such a small gesture, almost automatic for locals, but it carries a huge impact on how you're perceived. It instantly sets a positive tone for any interaction that might follow. It's the absolute first step in showing you're culturally aware. And please, 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 I know we touched on this, but it cannot be emphasized enough. Do not just assume everyone speaks English. Yes, Merida is a growing international city. It attracts people from all over the world, which is wonderful. But it's still deeply rooted in its rich Mexican and Yucatecan identity. Spanish is the language of daily life for the vast majority. When you initiate conversation in Spanish, even if it's imperfect, even if it's just a simple hola or buenos dias, it is a profound sign of respect.
It really is.
It shows a genuine willingness to engage on their terms. This simple shift in approach immediately makes you more approachable, and it opens up much more positive and genuine interactions. It shows you're making an effort to meet them halfway.
This point is just so critical because assuming English proficiency, even if unintentional, can inadvertently create a power dynamic. It subtly implies that the local person should accommodate your language rather than the other way around.
Right, which feels entitled.
Exactly. Starting in Spanish, even if it's halting, even if you quickly realize you need to switch to gestures or a translation app, it signals humility. It signals a willingness to meet people where they are on their own cultural ground. And that small act of respect is invaluable for building rapport. It demonstrates that you value their culture and their language. It breaks down barriers immediately, making locals generally much more inclined to help you, to engage with you warmly. It truly paves the way for a more authentic connection.
Okay, remember that indirectness we talked about earlier, that polite, harmonious way of communicating? Well, it comes into play crucially with your requests, too. Not just refusals. Instead of being very direct, which, again, can often feel rude, maybe demanding, even a bit aggressive in this context, soften your language. Think about it. Instead of a command like, help me, or tell me where X is, use podría ayudarme. Could you help me? It's a much gentler way of asking for assistance, framing it as a question of their ability and willingness.
Much more polite.
Or, sería possible? Would it be possible? Followed by your request. This frames it as a question of possibility rather than a direct instruction or expectation. Honestly, adopting these softer forms, it's a total game changer for respectful interactions.
It is. That softening language skillfully avoids sounding demanding. Instead, as you said, it frames requests as questions of possibility. It embodies politeness and respect for the other person's autonomy, their time, their ability to help. It's really about inviting cooperation rather than expecting it. And that generally fosters a much more positive and helpful response.
All right, let's talk about your digital allies. Because, let's face it, in this modern age, technology can be a fantastic bridge for communication, especially when you're navigating a new language and culture. Google Translate's probably the first one most people think of, and definitely get the offline Spanish language pack downloaded. That's an absolute lifesaver. You can type in phrases, you can translate text from images using your camera grate for signs or menus, and you can even have basic real-time conversations, all without needing an internet connection if you've got that pack downloaded. Super handy.
Indispensable, really.
And for those moments when you need maybe slightly smoother real-time voice translation, apps like Say Hi or iTranslate are truly amazing. They're like having a little interpreter right there in your pocket. Makes communication so much easier, especially when you're facing a more complex language barrier in a pinch.
They're great tools, but it's good to remember they are aids. They're not really replacements for that genuine human connection you build through your own efforts to learn and understand the culture, right?
Absolutely. Tools. Not crutches, ideally. And if you want to really level up your Spanish, move beyond just relying on those translation apps day to day. Language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, maybe Memrise. There are lots of great ones out there. They are fantastic resources for daily practice. They make learning feel more like a game, keep it engaging, make it accessible. You can build your vocabulary, get a better grasp of grammar, practice pronunciation. Little by little, consistently.
Consistency is key.
Totally. Even just 10 or 15 minutes a day makes a huge difference over time in your confidence and your actual fluency. The more you learn, the less you'll need to rely on those translation apps. And the more deeply and authentically you'll be able to connect with the incredible people and the rich culture here in Merida. It's truly an investment that pays massive dividends in your daily enjoyment and integration. And finally, if you take one single, absolute critical piece of advice away about apps and communication infrastructure in Mexico, it's this: WhatsApp.
Oh, yes. WhatsApp is king.
It absolutely is. It is the dominant messaging app in Mexico, by far. Learn it, use it, live by it. It's how almost everyone communicates here. From casual personal chats with friends and family to crucial business interactions, confirming doctor appointments, ordering food or water delivery from local vendors, communicating with any service provider you can think of, your gardener, your pool guy, your internet company.
Landlords, tour guides, everybody.
Everybody. It truly is the unofficial Merida lifeline. It's woven so deeply into the fabric of daily life here, you really can't function smoothly without it.
You really can't. Building on that, WhatsApp isn't just like a convenient messaging app here. It is a fundamental and absolutely essential part of the communication infrastructure. It's deeply integrated into nearly every facet of daily life, from confirming those appointments, ordering food, coordinating with service providers, communicating with local businesses. It streamlines countless daily tasks. It's the primary mode of written communication for almost everything practical.
It really is.
Not having it or not knowing how to use it proficiently is almost like not having a phone at all in some contexts, because it is absolutely essential for integrating seamlessly into the local network, the communication fabric. Mastering WhatsApp, getting comfortable with it, will genuinely make your life in Merida significantly easier, much more connected, and way less stressful. It's a key, honestly, to unlocking smooth everyday living here.
Okay, let's wrap up with a few fun bonus expressions. Ones you might hear that really capture the unique spirit of the Yucatan going beyond the surface. Here's a great one, and it perfectly encapsulates that wonderfully relaxed vibe of Merida we keep talking about.
Aquí no pasa nada.
Aquí no pasa nada.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
You do. Literally, it translates to nothing's happening here. But it's used in a few ways. It's often used when things are super calm or slow, or perhaps to reassure someone that there's no problem, no rush, no need to worry about a particular situation. Like if you ask a local why a process is taking a while or if something seems delayed, they might just shrug and say, aquí no pasa nada, meaning basically, don't worry, everything is fine, it's all calm, just enjoy the peace.
Chill out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It perfectly encapsulates the relaxed pace and the general sense of peace in the region, doesn't it? It's a
Right.
nice little phrase that speaks volumes about the local attitude towards time and stress. Okay, and if someone asks you, vas a la vaqueria,
Vas a la?
they are not asking if you're going to a cow pasture, even though vaca means cow.
Good clarification.
Yes, they're actually inviting you to a local dance event, or, more specifically, a traditional town fair or festival, a true, vibrant taste of authentic Yucatecan culture. Vaquerias are these beloved traditional Yucatecan festivals. They're often held as part of larger town fiestas or celebrations, maybe for a patron saint. They feature lively folk dancing, especially the jarana, which is the traditional dance of the Yucatan. It's performed to a wonderful live music played by a charanga band. And of course, you'll find plenty of delicious local food and drink.
Always good food.
Always. They're vibrant, joyous community gatherings, deeply tied to regional identity and history. And if you get the chance to go to one, they're absolutely not to be missed. It's pure Yucatan. And finally, a truly local and delightfully comical expression, especially relevant given Merida's often intense climate.
Understatement of the year.
Right. You might hear someone exclaim, Está haciendo calor de la chingada. Está haciendo calor de la chingada. Now, literally, and please excuse this slightly rough language here, it means something like, it's hot as hell, or it's effing hot. Now, while the word chingada can be quite strong or offensive in other contexts in Mexico.
Very strong.
Yes. Here, in this specific phrase about the weather, it's generally used as a wonderfully colorful, exaggerated, almost humorous way locals express the intense, oppressive heat. It tells you they're not afraid to have a laugh about it, even in the face of, 40 degrees Celsius heat and 90% humidity. It's informal, can even feel a bit self-deprecating. It's an expression of a shared experience, often delivered with a wry smile and a knowing glance to a fellow sufferer.
That's a great example. What's truly fascinating there is how language is used not just to describe reality, but to express that shared experience, to build camaraderie, and to reinforce local identity. That phrase about the heat, it isn't just a simple statement about the temperature. It's a cultural acknowledgement of a common, often intensely felt challenge. And as you said, it's usually delivered with a wry smile, a sense of collective commiseration, like we're all in this heat together.
Right. Misery loves company.
Exactly. It allows for a sense of camaraderie, a shared understanding of just enduring the heat together. Understanding it, and maybe even being able to utter it yourself with the right tone and in the right company, can make you feel much more in tune with local banter and the community spirit. It's about tapping into that unique humor that helps people navigate the challenges and the joys of daily life in Merida. Hashtag tax tag outro FM.
Wow. Okay, what an incredible journey that was, right? Into the very heart of Merida's communication landscape. You've just unlocked, honestly, a treasure trove of insights. From understanding that local rhythm and disposition to decoding those essential hand gestures, mastering your foundational spanning phrases, and even sprinkling in some of that truly unique Yucatecan slang. Just imagine how much richer your experience here will be, just by knowing these few things. You'll be able to navigate the markets with more confidence, understand those nuanced replies you receive, maybe avoid some confusion, and most importantly, build genuine, lasting connections with the incredible people of Merida. A little effort, a genuine curiosity, and just a willingness to adapt really do go an incredibly long way here. It truly transforms your experience from just visiting to genuinely living and thriving in Merida.
It really does. And this deep dive, I think, beyond just the practical phrases and the gestures, it reveals something even more profound about living in Merida, doesn't it? It shows that communication is far more than just language. It's this intricate, beautiful dance of respect, of patience, of cultural awareness. And embracing these nuances, it allows you to not just visit, but to truly live here, to truly connect in Merida. It's really opportunity to foster a deeper sense of empathy, maybe expand your own capacity for understanding, and just appreciate the beautiful, diverse tapestry of human connection that makes Merida so incredibly special. It's a chance to truly become a part of something bigger than yourself.
Beautifully said. And if this deep dive has given you just a taste of the invaluable knowledge, the practical insights, and the incredible community support we offer, then you absolutely need to check out everything Merida Expats 411 has for you. This kind of practical wisdom, these fun insights, the unwavering support from people who've been there. It's exactly what you'll find in our full deep dive podcast series. We cover so many more topics in this kind of detail. And of course, in our vibrant Merida Expats 411 Facebook group, that's where the real magic happens day to day. We really are your ultimate resource for thriving here in Merida. We provide continuous learning, answers to all your questions, big or small, and just unparalleled community support from thousands of expats and knowledgeable locals who truly understand what you're experiencing. So come join the community, ask your questions, share your experiences, and continue your deep dive with us. We can't wait to help you become a true Merida local, feeling confident and connected.